let's talk about the biggest line of the weekend, which is going to be, of course, the Pittsburgh Steelers rolling into Kansas City. Big Ben's final ride where he is a 12.5-point underdog. And we obviously just saw this game literally like 3 weeks ago whenever the Kansas City Chiefs and the Pittsburgh Steelers lined up. One of my fondest memories actually of Patrick Mahomes and his growing career is actually the first game he actually had against the Pittsburgh Steelers. I think that was a week 1 game in the 2019 or 2018 season where he just came out like a ball of fire and instantly lit up the Pittsburgh Steelers. Though it was fun because that was actually when Ben was competent, because Ben was actually going back and forth with him too. It was just an offensive showcase. I think that was back when Ben could throw for 500 yards in a game. Now, some of the offensive numbers in that Cleveland game from a couple weeks ago were pretty ugly. And that's kind of what we've been getting from Big Ben. I kind of want to, in a way, give the veteran some respect, give him some fighting chance here. But I just know how good the Chiefs are. And I literally just saw this on my television screen as of 3 weeks ago. Now, the one thing I kind of wonder, though, and we talked about this with the Georgia-Alabama game, obviously how much of a blowout that was. Bama, of course, came back down to earth. They came back so much down to earth that, of course, Georgia was able to get that victory. Can the Steelers at least make it a closer game this coming weekend?
Oh, are you asking me? No. The answer is no. No, they will not. The Kansas City Chiefs should be even bigger favorites than the line says they're going to. The only reason they won't cover the spread is because they take their starters out at the end of the game. This is a good consolation prize. As many of you can see, there is a nice little Patrick Mahomes jersey back here because I am indeed a Mahomie. Mahomes is the reason that this exists. So in combination with the Chargers leaving San Diego when I was a child and Patrick Mahomes being amazing at football at a time where I was out on football, the reason this exists is because of Patrick Mahomes. That is the reason I have such an affinity for Patrick Mahomes. The Kansas City Chiefs basically get another bye week. I'm cool with it. They deserve the first overall seed. It's BS that they didn't get the first overall seed and get another first round bye.
It is not BS.
The Chiefs deserve to be the number 1 seed in the AFC for the 4th consecutive year. I can still say they've had the best record in the AFC for the last 4 years, because this is part of the thing that makes the dynasty cool, is that they're the first team. Not even the Patriots did this. Not even the Patriots had the best record in the AFC for 4 consecutive seasons.
Not a dynasty.
And that's what they've done. This is basically a bye week for them. They just get to try some things. They get to get right. They're going to win this game by a lot of points. And this is a point where this weekend is going to be a little crazy. Like last year, they did 6 games and I spent, I think like 20 something hours watching football that weekend. It was too much. It was too much. And so I had to pick one game last year that I had to take a pause to break up the weekend. And that was Tampa Bay, Washington for me last year. I skipped the first half of that game. I had to go do something else. Like, it's just too much football. This is that game. This is that game. Just go do something else during this on Sunday night. You can skip the second half. You can listen to our podcast where we talk about other things other than the Steelers and the Chiefs. Like the Chiefs are going to absolutely destroy the Pittsburgh Steelers, and it's not going to be a close contest. This is basically like last year's Bears-Saints game, where it's a team that should have won 6 games that happened to win 9 games, happened to make the playoffs because the Colts fell apart, or last year the Cardinals fell apart, and the Kansas City Chiefs are the best team in the AFC who's going to absolutely dismantle them. So yeah, but also it's Big Ben's last game. So good on that storyline.
Happy retirement, Big Ben. Yes, I'm on the Chiefs here, but I tell you, man, again, come on, by what metric are the Chiefs the number 1 seed? I mean, they lost head-to-head against the Tennessee Titans.
How many points are the Chiefs going to be favored against the Titans in Tennessee? If they play the AFC Championship in Tennessee.
We don't seed based off intangibles. We seed based off the results that have played out on the field over the course of
but we seeded wrong. But that's the thing. I'm saying,
how do we seed then, Kyle? Are we just going to say?
Oh, how would I have done it? I would have said
the computer generator. Are we going to go BCS style with it? Is that how we're going to determine who gets the higher seed? No, it's. I think that's who wins.
I mean, that's the way that would be the most fair. I mean, I'm cool ranking them based on how it would be on paper. I know we don't do that. But if you're giving me the option, I would have given the Chiefs the 1 seed. I would have given the Bills the 2 seed, the Patriots the 3 seed, so that the Patriots and Bills could play in the divisional round instead of the first round. I would have given the Bengals the 4 seed. I would have given the Colts the 5 seed. I would have given the Titans the 6 seed. I would have given the Chargers the 7 seed if I'd had the choice, but I don't get that choice. I just have to watch the goddamn Steelers now because we're doing it this way.
The biggest margin of victory last year was a 12-point victory by the New Orleans Saints over the Chicago Bears in the wild card round. So we haven't
remember that game. They threw a touchdown in garbage time on the last play of the game. It was really a 17 or 18 point game where they threw a garbage time touchdown at the end.
I know. I'm just, for context sake, just saying in terms of blowouts that we've seen given playoff teams. Also, you talk about garbage time, last year's Pittsburgh Steelers team against the Cleveland Browns, because that was an 11-point victory by Cleveland, but Cleveland from start to finish pretty much ran away with that game. I wonder if the Chiefs will just right away, just out the gate, just put 21 points on them. The Steelers would have to get over the hump if they're going to try and make this a competitive game. If they could just try and limit the initial output by the Chiefs, then I think that they will be able to at least cover the line here. We're talking about a 13-point line. We just kind of have to talk about the smaller victories here.
In doing the serious analysis, I think this game could actually be close at halftime. Like, I think they could go into the halftime locker room and make a case for, we can come back in this game. The thing is, if you gave me an over or under of the Steelers scoring 10 points, I would probably bet the under. Like, I just, that team's not going to be able to score points unless Mahomes gives them points. Like, if Mahomes gives them points, it's going to start to be a little scary in between. But the Steelers defense is genuinely pretty good. Like, they're not the top defense in the sport like they were a couple years ago when they almost made the playoffs with Duck Hodges as their quarterback, but they're still pretty good. You know, TJ Watt did tie the sack record this year. Minkah Fitzpatrick isn't quite the guy he was 2 years ago, but he's still a very solid safety. I don't know exactly where they ranked at the end of the year, but I know they were ranked in the 6 to 7 range on DVOA. So the defense is actually like pretty good. I mean, the Chiefs have 3 Hall of Famers and the greatest offensive coach ever. So obviously there's a lot to fight against, but I think the game might actually be close at halftime, and then the Chiefs kind of pull away in the second half because now they have a lead. Now they can run the ball more. They establish the run. It opens up the pass. Steelers might be down a corner in this game. Not Steven Nelson. He's not there anymore, but their number 2 corner might be out for this game. I forgot who it is now. And that might end up being a difference maker there. But I think the game might be close in the first half. Again, there's a chance it's 21-0 by the time we hit the second quarter. That's always possible with the Chiefs, but I think it could be close at halftime, and then the Chiefs run the ball, and then they kind of score like 2 touchdowns in the third quarter, and Big Ben has to start throwing it more, and he throws an interception, and that leads to 7 more points or something like that. So I think it might actually be close at halftime.
And at the risk of this aging poorly, given the Steelers make some miraculous win or something out of their ass, I would say bigger picture for the Chiefs. You mentioned a great point there. Patrick Mahomes, when the Chiefs were struggling, the turnovers were very apparent. That's going to be pivotal in the Chiefs' ultimate Super Bowl aspirations for Patrick Mahomes to not revert back to, what was it, week 6, when he was just a sieve of turnovers.
Yeah, he was chucking balls backwards over his head against Washington and driving me insane. But I never wavered in my confidence in the Chiefs, and I never wavered in the people who said that the Chiefs might not make the playoffs because they started going through their schedule. It's like, wow, that's a tough schedule. I'm like, they're literally the Chiefs. They're better than all these teams that they're playing against. It's not like it's a toss-up in all these games. But yeah, Kansas City should have just gotten a bye week. I would have been fine canceling this game and just giving them a bye week. Even if it were the Titans, I would have been fine if the Titans had been the 2 seed, just giving the Titans a bye week. I knew the Titans were going to win. I knew the Chiefs are going to win, but that just has more to do with the Steelers than it does about the Chiefs.